Yeah,
I don't know.
I figured you did,
Frank.
Frank.
This flip,
That's got Windows.
This was working at the house.
10. Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Windows 10.
I can load it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. This partition, you have to repartition it. You don't have to do that. And
Yeah.
Let's just see.
It's kind of just
Connection established. I have a connection.
Yay.
have you got an address conflict going on? A name conflict?
I do not know.
That's weird. It's just you.
It is just this computer.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Not only is it just
I'm
me,
running the
it's
same OS.
just computer.
This thing says 500 gigabytes.
It lies.
It lies.
You know what? You can have that one. I'll give you the other one next time. This is the bad one. You can have this one.
What do you mean it's bad?
That one is the one I took out.
It doesn't work?
Oh, you can. It was shown as failing. You can try it if you want to.
No, I'm just trying. How was it failing?
It was the
Check
computer would
fail.
come up and say, Intel would come up and say, this drive is failing, and it's trying to rebuild. You could see it's trying to
Okay.
rebuild stuff.
Right.
And it's the Intel operating
Probably the
system is
smart
trying to
chip.
fix it.
I was looking at that one because that one is bigger. It's
Physically bigger?
well, no, physics. It's 500.
Oh,
gigabytes.
RNX?
Yeah. This is the old one,
Running?
and the original one that I got is 6 years old, as I recall.
That one's 6 years old?
Yeah.
It's time for it to go.
Okay. So, okay. I'll bring the other one in next time.
Okay.
I can remember it.
Yeah.
And but if you want it, it's 256.
What I was really trying to think of is how I could I have a spot where I could put 2 of them in.
That's right. Don't watch the big screen. Watch.
I got
watch
the one
little
like you
screen.
got.
It is very laggy
HP.
on the big screen.
Those things have a spot in there for a second.
They have, it looks like, and as I was digging around, it looks like they have an adapter to take the other one,
Oh,
the second slot.
that would be good.
You have to buy the adapter.
That's right.
And check it out.
That would be good because I wouldn't have to do anything with the other one.
The other slot is the CD-ROM, the DVD, is probably not
That's SATA.
serial.
Yeah.
Not SATA. So, yeah, we'll have to figure out how that works.
Go through.
See if there's a second SATA slot.
There we go.
But I know they have a cage. It looks like they have a cage to use a SATA drive that's in the second slot. Now these, can you daisy chain these?
That's what I was thinking. In regular hard drives, you can add more than one. They have an extra connector off the hard drive where you can connect multiple. You can daisy chain them actually.
They must be expecting a big crowd with 3 million chairs.
I guess some people come in, they're not going to have enough space. The guy was saying they're going to be in at 6:30. Must be something big.
Okay, so that's why we're out of here at 6:30.
There's no space in the library?
No, in the conference room. They're going to be in the conference room.
You took this conference?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we're getting kicked out early.
We're getting rejected again, but we're used to rejection, so
Yeah.
it just fits right in for us.
I heard it mention 6:30. Should we be gone at 6:30?
We should be, doing our regular thing. Now, it's
Maybe
It's
I'm in another
instead of-
conference room.
instead of 7, it's 6:30. 6:30 p.m. Okay,
You might want to do it 6:29.
48 minutes. Okay, you ready to show? Oh, you're showing.
I'm doing stuff.
You're showing your work here.
Stuff is actually on. So,
What kind of stuff is that?
well, it's. I'm not real sure what it's actually doing. This is that starboard that Ray had.
Oh, okay.
What 4 weeks ago,
I remember.
and he bought them because they all had GPSs in them.
And they had Linux and it does something.
They all have Tiny OS, which isn't exactly Linux and it's not exactly not Linux. it's something
Linux-like.
Linux-like.
Is it the tiny OS? Because there's a tiny OS that's advertised out there. So it's
I
been
think
around for a while.
I think it is. I think it's the same tiny OS. I think, but every time this thing sits for a while and I have to reboot it, it's actually looping. It's just saying the same thing over and over and over and over again, and eventually it'll get to the point where it actually starts to boot. So if I had to guess, it's reloading something back into Flash, but I don't really know what the heck it's doing. And it's slow. It is not a fast machine.
Evaluating one
1 mega flash to DRAM.
Are those locations changing? Or is,
Nope, it's the same location.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, me either, because
Doing the same
I'm
thing.
thinking the same thing, that the location should, like should be moving it from flash into the DRAM, but it ain't doing it.
I'm finding that exact error message.
I don't know what it's actually trying to do, but I think that's what it's doing. I think it's loading flash so that it could be boot. Now I've got a problem with this because the partition keeps disappearing on me, so I can only get so far into it. See, there it goes.
Okay.
Now it's looping through the same message again and again and again, and eventually it'll stop doing that. And we'll actually, if it was working, we would actually get to a login prompt. But it's not working. We'll get to a kernel panic here in a second.
It just keeps trying to do a retry.
Yes, like it's trying to load something that's not there.
And then after so many tries,
It moves on.
that's root flags, setting. You know, kind of in the real old days, this is one of those things where you have to do, people really do a disassembly on this. You produce this big hex dump.
No,
And then go and decode it.
it just uncompressed Linux, and we're getting the same message. Here eventually it's going to tell me that it's got a kernel panic because it can't find the root partition, because the root partition has once again disappeared.
What is root FS?
Root file system.
Flashing a new root file system should be all you need. Okay.
Yes, well, it keeps disappearing, but I think I know why.
See, Jim just gave you the answer. Run with it.
Yeah.
Well, I've flashed the root dozens of times, and I got it to work one time, and as soon as I rebooted the damn thing, it did this. So that is all. That is about as far as I've gotten with it. I think I know how to keep the root alive now, because the instructions were not very good, and it did not tell me to create a PARM partition, which apparently is needed to actually save the fact that you actually have partitions. Because as soon as I created that, it started saving the fact that it's got the bootloader partition and the kernel partition, but the root partition still didn't get saved to it. So I still need to figure out what the hell's going on there. I had the school or whoever had these before changed the defaults, so the root password and everything from the docs changed all that. So I've ended up finding the images and was eventually able to reflash it. Got it to work once, like I said. The defaults came up the way they should.
Can I join you?
Oh, sure.
You're the user group for Foundation Technology.
That's us.
Yep.
I just want to
Oh, yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way we were.
So
We encourage late attendance. We do.
That's good.
there's chairs everywhere.
We're adults, that's
The room corner is squeaky. Well, actually, they're all squeaky. Those are squeakier.
Oh.
I found my router.
Oh, jeez. I could have solved the problems sooner.
So
So, suppose everything worked, what would you expect to happen? Just
What's your
like-
name?
I'm Allison Ball. I'm actually from League Magazine. It's a technology magazine.
Okay.
I'm just here to hang out and get to know you.
Okay, if you want to be on our mailing list, that's the way to do it.
Oh,
If you're just
perfect.
visiting, that's fine.
No,
Oh,
thank
so you
you.
got the boot prompt.
I got what?
No, I was-
We're talking about the screen
Oh,
up there, the boot prompt.
I'm a boot prompt.
All right.
Oh,
And I can
it
actually,
accepts words.
this is actually how you end up flashing this stupid thing too, is all over serial,
Mm.
which is slow. But it works.
Okay.
So
Do
we can look at the partition table.
you have like a command structure for this thing where it can say what the OS is, what the version is? And
So I have a compact bootloader ported to Stargate 7.1 revision blah 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 2013. Big kernel. That's about all it really is. This handheld.org thing, the website that it references,
Yeah.
gone, disappeared. I have no idea where it's at.
archived in there.
Wow.
Well, I didn't even look at our Internet Archives for it, but
Several engineering schools were using this.
There is a tiny,
labs.
there is a tiny OS.
Yeah.
The question is this the same OS that? Because you remember I talked about having like a real OS for the Arduino.
is TinyOS based on Linux? The one you're thinking of.
I'm sure it's kind of a Linux clone.
So I think it's the same OS because I looked at the TinyOS website and it kind of looked like it was going to be the
And
same
if that
thing.
exists, there should probably be source code.
Yeah, are we taking things off of here?
I've got the source
On
code,
email, I'm sorry.
but
You're bad.
the documentation's not real great.
Okay, so you got names of functions and stuff like that. I mean, with that, you can kind of tell what it
Tiny
does,
OS is its
where it
own
came
thing,
from.
though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but this looks like it was actually a hodgepodge of a bunch of different, open source. They go and they stick everything together and make stuff work.
Stargate.
But there's not really a whole lot you can do inside the bootloader other than reflash and everything. And you can see my root file system is there, my root partition's there. It's just not acknowledging the fact that it's there,
It's got a bootloader, but you don't have any other application.
pretty much.
What did this thing do?
Well, Jim had found where, schools, there's a bunch of different add-on cards that you can add to it. Schools used it for mesh networking. Schools used it for sensor gathering, so they set these things all over the campus or whatever on a mesh. Could gather all kinds of information.
So today, this would absolutely have no use because you can get something like an Arduino.
We could do everything
Yeah, right.
much easier without an OS.
And have documentation and everything.
Now, the mesh networking, you can do mesh networking on the Arduino?
You
He did a demo. He did a demo.
Well.
God, sometime.
Okay, it's very
With that-
definitions of
with that-
well.
With that ESP 8266.
Well, the ESP8266 is effectively that, isn't it? Does what this is
That's smaller.
designed to do, just this has more options.
More memory than that.
This has more memory.
That has more memory?
That has.
How much does
Yeah,
that
but
have?
it's running an
It's like
OS.
64 meg.
No, the A266 has,
Oh, 4 megs.
yeah, I thought it had more than that. Okay, that's true.
Yeah. That
But you can add
that does have GPIO on it, but it's all inside that header. The add-on boards,
Mm-hmm.
that's where the GPIO is. That's why it's not. That's why the Raspberry Pi would be more useful than this thing, because you really don't have access to the GPIO unless you want to build some weird board.
and that's flash memory anyway, right? So you
That's
could
flash
add,
memory.
You could add an SD card with a whole bunch of memory.
Compact flash.
Compact flash.
Compact flash.
It's old.
Most people can't figure out what that means. Okay.
It's got so I'll because it's basically dead anyway. It's got that's just a daughter card. That's just a daughter card.
Mhm.
This is actually the computer itself. The daughter card's got Ethernet, USB, and RS-232.
Okay.
So once this is programmed and set up, you could actually remove the daughter card because there's a power port on the computer, and you could just set these computers out
So if you,
because the computer's got the PCMCA slot and the compact flash slot on the bottom side. Of course, it would help if that was.
do you know whether the GPS works? You know whether the GPS works?
The what? The GPS's work. I did plug those
Does
in.
it work good?
They're off by about 17 feet or so.
That's not terrible.
What I was thinking,
Or something like
if you
that.
had a Raspberry Pi and some reason with GPS, then you defeated that by.
One of our members bought a bunch of these for $2 a piece.
Okay.
Carnegie Mellon had them working at their campus or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, explain it. Do you know what they were doing with Carnegie Mellon?
Since it had a GPS in it, the only thing I can think of is they were tracking something that was actually moving.
I think they were tracking vehicles on site to make sure they didn't go off site, off campus.
Interesting.
And this is what they used to track.
But I really don't know because I couldn't get into it because they changed all the defaults. So I couldn't log in to find out what they actually installed.
So how they were doing it though is because it's got Wi-Fi on it, and it's got 430 megahertz.
433 megahertz board was stuck in the GPIO headers.
Okay, and is there a 430 megahertz communication device on there?
No, that was what the other thing.
This thing was
I didn't bring it with me.
old school Wi-Fi.
The GPS.
The
was
GPS
430.
the GPS was USB.
Well, where's the 430? Oh, there's another board.
Yeah,
Okay.
it plugged into the. I flipped that upside down too, so I could get to the
Looks
RS-232
like
port
something
better.
that they may have made at the school.
Intel actually made that thing.
Intel made the whole thing.
But they made the kit. You could buy that kit, and it had add-on boards for all kinds of stuff.
Crossbow apparently made the kit. Intel made the board.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
They have tons of options for that. About 2008, 2009, looks like that's when it peaked in popularity. And the programs are still there, and it looks like you can download literature.
A lot of those websites on that, even on the site that had the images though, a lot of those websites have just disappeared. They're just gone.
Yeah, the images. Yeah, that's all that. Yeah, that's.
The images are important though.
Yeah.
The even if the instructions to make it work are not the greatest.
Looks like one of the old school prototypes. That's what I said. They did it at school.
I can tell you right now that that's actually the second model.
This is number 2.
Yeah, because the memory on the first model apparently didn't work right, and they used what they called the blue wire and jumpered the memory to where it needed to go with the blue wire. So this is the second version, so this is probably what actually ended up into production.
I can confuse them.
So this is an Intel product.
That's not
Or Crossbow, whoever you.
Usually,
Offered through Crossbow.
Yeah.
Is that Crossbow the software or the hardware or the whole package?
It says Crossbow on here somewhere.
Okay.
So,
usually companies like Intel wouldn't put something in production like that. Long time ago, when I used to work on this stuff, we used to build. As a matter of fact, we would have we'd have a shop build something like that, and you use it for testing. And then when you went to manufacturing, it was just a lot slicker than that. Not very slick.
I think Intel made the boards, and I
Okay.
think Crossbow put it in the case and sold the case and the options is what I think.
And our main interest in this is, we were getting them. Ray had a couple of hundred of them. We were getting them for $2 a piece.
For nothing.
And my main interest in it was, well, the the operating system's cute, but the box may be useful.
I think the box has more use than
Then,
anything else.
It's not a bad box.
Yeah.
The box is good for new things. The box is kind of big. I mean, if you're doing something brand new.
Raspberry Pi app would fit in there.
Well, yeah, I mean, typically if you're gonna put a Raspberry Pi in a box, you gotta have some room to put the other thing you're gonna attach to it.
Most of those boxes are smaller though.
Put a screen on it, 5-inch screen on the back of it, or something like that.
You could easily stick a Raspberry Pi in here and a GPS and still have room for your Wi-Fi dongle and
No, you could.
And other
It just-
stuff?
It just seems kind of big.
wow.
Like when I go out, look at those the boxes, the 3D printer boxes, they would all be smaller than that.
It's Raspberry Pi is really not much bigger than that.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, you might want the extra space just because you don't want this big to
Actually,
heat.
you know what?
It's just, it should be little these days.
Like, what if you had like a Raspberry
That's
Pi?
halfway big as a laptop. Put it over your, look at that. You get all kinds
I was
of.
building something and I have no idea what to use
If
it
it's
for.
saying up in the up on a pole somewhere, who cares?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
The meeting I went to last night, they had a door prize and it was a Raspberry Pi. It looked about that size.
Yeah,
I mean, it was still in the box, but
Raspberry. It might be a hair smaller than that. It's about that size. It's not that tall. This thing's only tall because of the daughter card that's on it. I don't know. I don't.
Okay, so
Other than it was a neat thing to kind of try to get to work. I really don't know what use this has.
Not useful. So the $2 we paid for it
$2.
is worth every penny, kind of.
Well,
it was a good discussion.
Actually, it's the $2 we didn't pay for it.
The GPS, those GPS pucks that were in it were worth every bit of the $2.
That's why I asked him
Those
whether
things?
that worked or not.
Do I?
The GPS books?
The GPS?
Or the GPS things or whatever you found?
They were just USB.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Just plug them. That's probably why they left the daughter cards on them, because they needed the USB port for the
Hmm.
little puck thingies, and they run at 4,800 baud, and they just show up as a serial port.
Should we put Arduino, buy 200 of them from Ray and sell the GPSs on eBay for $15 a piece?
Can
Oh, seriously?
can you decouple the GPS? I mean, decouple it and use it with something else?
Probably.
I didn't. I should have brought it. It works. Yeah. You just plug it in, it starts spitting out.
Well, GPS would be worth playing with.
Split
That thing
the
is
profits 50-50 with
Like, what if you
Ray,
took-
we make a
you
deal.
could take a box and then like put the. Actually, no. That'd be kind of cool, but I have no idea what I'd use it for. Is like if you you take a box and like how much power does the Raspberry Pi take? Like oh gosh, I don't even remember now.
It's what?
What if you took a Raspberry Pi, you put it in a box, and then you put a solar panel on it, and you give it Wi-Fi, and then you just give it a GPS, and then you drop it somewhere and tell it to go find a Wi-Fi connection and connect up, and then email you back its IP.
Well, those aluminized balloons.
Yeah, the Raspberry Pi is about 3.5 watts.
Like, how cheap can you make that? You can make maybe like 20 of those, start dropping them off all over the place, and and you have a bunch of and then I didn't plan to move on that. It's like, what the hell?
They're one of those timers, that CMOS timers, to turn it on every hour. It boots up to 3 watts. The solar cells have the battery charged up, runs for 3 seconds, gets the GPS position. It's gone. Connect to Wi-Fi if you can.
3
If
watts. 3 watts is a problem.
3 watts is a problem for solar power. It's only going to come on once an hour for 15 seconds.
Okay, what's it gonna do?
I don't
It's
know.
going to get a GPS position.
Okay, I got that.
But it has
It's
to be
gonna-
moving
It's
to
going to
make
put it
that
in the
useful.
database. It's going to put it on the chip. It's going to save it on the in memory, or to save memory. Okay? And it's going to go to sleep for another hour.
But nothing will have changed. Is this thing moving?
It's going to be in a metallized balloon,
Oh, okay, so it's something that's trapped. Okay, I see.
and we're tracking
you can
it
track
in the
it.
sky. And whenever it finally connects to something, anything Wi-Fi that it can get through, it'll transmit the data to us along with its current location, and it's done. Goes to sleep for another half hour or another hour. And it's charging up. This metallized balloon has solar cells mounted on the top, so it's constantly charging and wakes up periodically. And the other option is a jar that you put the chip in and the battery and the solar cells, and you fix the weight where it goes down about
Ooh, I think
25,
I might
30 feet,
know.
maybe 50 feet, enough to charge the cells, and it wakes up. Can't connect via
This
Wi-Fi
sounds like
underwater, though.
sounds like it's reminiscent of that satellite tracker.
Yeah.
You're a stupid.
We should do a beep beep,
took
like the Russian satellite.
if you took a few of these and then load them all up with Hydra and some crunched list or something, and you drop them off at all the Starbucks and tell it to go brute force a site or something, and then suddenly they realize, why am I being brute forced from all the Starbucks? You can be a pen testing tool. Just drop them off in the back. Just drop them off at the Starbucks. Just driving it by.
So is this GBS better than the ones that you could buy off of eBay? They're not better than those.
They're old.
Maybe.
This thing was probably made back in 2003.
Okay, so that has no usefulness.
The GPSs are useful because they're GPSs,
And it
but they're
works.
not. Modern GPSs are way more accurate than these things are.
Okay.
I mean, they're okay. They work. They do what they're supposed to do.
What is it worth on eBay is his question.
It does not look like it's worth much.
Oh, okay.
He ought
Two-
to-
$2.
he ought to know.
What are the competitors worth?
Do
What are
what?
what are the competitors selling theirs for?
This one's brand new for $10. So
Is it USB?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
and looks like it's a modern one. So it's probably pretty accurate.
Well, maybe we can talk Ray down and sell them for $1. Get them for $1.
I don't really want them.
Okay. Go away. Huh?
Ray buys silly things.
We all do sometimes.
Just looks like it's a good deal. Can't pass on it. It's $2.
Honestly, if I was where Ray was and I saw them for $2 a piece, I probably would have bought them too.
I tell you, that has some downsides. You end up with clutter.
Yeah.
See, the difference is Ray has 10,000 square feet or 100,000 square feet of warehouse
You know,
space.
places to put things.
That's true. I just have tubs full of GPS units right now,
Mhm.
so I don't really need any more GPSs. I think at last count I had 45 or 50 GPSs for no good reason.
Just because you want them.
Just because
That's a good reason.
I walk into places and $5.
Interesting.
Here you go.
Okay, so we're ready to hear from Valerie from Venue Magazine, see what's on
Yeah.
the brain.
Yeah.
We are having a tech summit, and I'll give you some information about that as well, because we're looking for speakers. So if anyone is interested in speaking at the event, I'll direct you to our website. But it's not till the end of October. Here you are, my friend. I'm also going to give you guys a magazine.
I can start passing.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, Ray's
down.
watching us, so we better.
Oh, is he?
He
Is Ray the organizer?
just cut our profits. Oh,
You're
man.
just kind of sitting there going,
Is he your organizer?
No,
No.
Jim's
He's the guy that provided those for $2.
Oh.
Jim's the organizer.
I see. But,
Ray would be watching.
yeah. So, it's anybody that has a passion for technology and innovation, this would be a great meeting for you guys to come to. Well, it's not really a meeting, it's a summit. And we are looking for speakers, so if you know of anyone. We're going to have workshops there.
So we get our own big magazine?
Yeah, yeah, and if anyone would like, I would love to interview somebody, talk about your career. And
Sounds like you
feature
need to talk to Ray.
in the September issue.
What about a laser cutter magnet? Has his own business.
Oh, this is Ray?
Ray, yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Ray.
No, he might find a way to talk to us.
He's not
Don't
talking.
tempt him.
So you think I should contact Ray? Uh-huh.
I'll send a note to Ray and.
Give him my email?
Yep.
Is there anyone here that I could follow up with that would be willing to share their information?
We're not sure what service we could provide for
Yes.
you
We're
and what
still-
you're interested in.
Yeah, we're still waiting.
What's that, dear?
We're still waiting for the details.
Oh, okay. Well, so the Tech Summit is on October 26th and 27th, but it's going to be a pretty huge event. There'll be breakout sessions. There's going to be a vendor expo there. I know
See,
that
here's the issue. When you say tech means 100 million things.
Mhm.
And if you have no particular area, we're lost in even talking to you. We're right here, we're down here, there.
Well, I came specifically to your user group because I was hoping that somebody would be able to share some information that would be in the technology community that your user group would be interested in. So
Particular technology.
something that's exclusive to your user group that
Like,
you would want to share.
like our robot.
Like Hero.
Any ideas that you have that
We're
you know,
not cutting edge. We're
We're not even really close for doing anything with that robot
and
yet.
that's
either.
why I'm sending her off down the Ray thing. There may be people in here that are associated with technology stuff, software,
Mhm.
or most of our stuff is more educational. We're interested in educating people,
Well, that's
bringing
wonderful.
people into the fold.
I mean, that would be something that we would love to have. If anybody would want to get up and talk about what your user group specifically shares here at your meeting for automation technology.
What's the history
Of Lead Magazine?
Lead? Yeah.
Well, they started, actually they started with Venue Magazine, which is a lifestyle magazine for Cincinnati. And then the husband had this magazine separate.
Mhm.
So it's It's probably, I think it's been about 10 years in the community. But the owner, his name is Steve Wanamaker. He lives here in Westchester, and he's got 3 kids, and he's just, this is the first year. They typically hold a lot of different events, but this is the first year for this big tech summit that they want to have. So I've just been kind of going out and talking to some of the user groups in the community and trying to get people excited about coming.
You guys are still trying to figure things out too.
No, they have everything lined up. We had a meeting about that this morning and kind of went over some other things. But we do have, some spots to fill for some speakers and workout or some breakout, like for workshops and stuff.
So what would be the end goal? I'm thinking 2 things. One is I'm thinking that Cincinnati is not a hub of technology, and the second thing is what would be the goal, of the conference after everything is done?
Just to share like the latest information, basically. They just want to, get into the technology community, and it would definitely fill some things in our September issue.
Okay.
But they're definitely
So
having
there's 2 things. You have your magazine, which just normally comes out, and then there's this summit that's coming up, and you're trying to help with that.
Yeah, I definitely, it's a big call for speakers. We're looking for some speakers that would want to get up and share information that's exclusive to your user group.
One of the things, we're down in the bits and the bytes. I don't know if you listened to some of the dialogue.
I did, and
for a lot of people,
it's a little over my head, but a lot.
A lot of people that have come to these would seem to look like it's marketing oriented. They want to talk about this stuff at a very high level, like telecom. It's a very high level area. They don't want to talk about bits and bytes.
Well, I mean, there's going to be other people there that are going to be interested in different things. I mean, it's not the meeting I went to a couple nights ago. They were talking about Bitcom and Merkle trees and things of that nature. And I think that that's a little bit of a dated. They shared with me that it was a dated type of software. So it's, I mean, the guy that did the presentation said he actually didn't use it. So. But, it's just something that we want to get out and, in front of the technology community and get to know people. And we would certainly hope that you would want to come down and check it out.
Have you thought about, like, getting with any of the people from, like, the Maker Faire?
I would have to ask Steve about that. Is that another a big?
Cincinnati has one once they just had it?
It's been a while.
So it's probably in another 6 months or something like that.
Let me check.
Dayton's getting ready to have their very first Maker Faire.
Okay. Yeah, there's some user groups that we're going up to see, like the Dayton Elixirs and the Ruby Brigade.
Anybody want to give her some information directly? You want to communicate with her, exchange info?
Well, I mean, I might know a few people
that you want to recommend.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're doing, it looks like there's some cosmetology kind of stuff going on, and I know people in that profession.
That's just a portion of the magazine. I think that the owner's wife goes to that salon, but it's not going to be anything like that.
Okay.
We'll be very far from that.
Well,
I assume you've already.
There is some technology that goes into this, and the people that I know make their own stuff.
Oh yeah.
So they might
chemistry in that.
Yeah, I mean, there might be something there for you. I don't know, but I could talk to them and give them
I would love that.
your stuff.
Yeah.
And then like Ray.
Talk to Ray.
Well, you've already been to Ruby.
No, that's next week. I'm going to the one in Dayton and then here in Cincinnati as well.
Would they call you directly if they wanted to talk to you?
Yeah, or email me.
Yeah, business cards.
I do not have business cards, but that phone number that's on there, you can give that out to anyone. Okay. Or the email, either one.
Which on here?
Oh no, I put it on that sheet, but I can. I can put my phone number on there for you.
Yeah. Why don't you do that? Because I'll give it to I'll at least pass it on to
I would appreciate that.
the people that I know in certain areas.
Mhm.
I'm kind of like,
Is it ALLY.ball at venumag.net?
Yep, that's it.
I'm kind of like Frank. I'm thinking that
Anybody has a question about it, they can send
you're
me an email.
probably looking for
Just
people
reply to the
a little bit
meeting
more than,
announcement.
because we're down here talking about the tech part of it.
You know, that
So you got-
anything that
Actually, I kinda know this guy.
anything that
Where you
pertains
see-
to technology. I'm sorry, go ahead, sir.
No, well, in another organization, I mean, I've met this guy, and then you have the outgoing president of UC, and they have a lot of technology going on
Yep, we
over at
work
UC.
with them a lot, and I know that they're going to be presenting at our tech summit. So, but no, it doesn't matter what part of technology or IT you are. We're interested.
I know you're interested, but the thing is the stuff that we talk about, or if you looked at our list of topics,
Uh-huh.
Most of the people wouldn't relate to it. I mean, just really wouldn't relate to it.
Okay.
Like if I started talking about the bicycle or transistor or something like that, even if you were engineer, you might not relate to it. Or you said, I might not care. I don't deal with that kind of stuff.
Jeremy's pretty much our security guy. And
Yeah, we're gonna have there are gonna be talks about security too. Yeah, it's a big list.
yeah, I mean,
Why me?
Well, it's a part of that community. It's a
That's the good side
necessity.
of it.
Yeah.
If you look at the PR, it's a good thing,
Mhm.
line you up that
True.
next big job.
Yep. Well,
Yeah, we're looking for rising stars. So if you know anyone at your company that is a director level or below, we are going to be mentioning and talking about people like that. Would you mind if I got in touch? Would you like to do an interview for the magazine?
I'm not sure what you're interviewing me for. I mean,
We would just be asking you different things about your position and what you do on a day-to-day basis. And then you'd be featured in the magazine.
probably the most boring thing I do.
You seem like a very friendly guy, though. So
I mean,
see, that's
I like
kind
my
of
day job, but
what he just said is what I kind of think. To us in this group, it seems fun and exciting, but to most people, what we do is
yeah. Well, it's there's got to
Like
be
you
a
start
part.
talking about, and some of this stuff is kind of new, like the Internet of Things and the new processors that are out there. Most people talk about, I've seen vice presidents they talk about it with a box and they have lines drawn. They don't talk about the actual processor and the memory and how the chip is organized and
Mhm.
the range. They don't talk about that kind of stuff.
we're not developing anything.
Okay.
We may play with robots, develop a robot, but it's strictly for demonstration
Your own
purposes, learning purposes. that sort of
entertainment.
stuff.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay.
But yeah, so
and it's interesting to us because it's interesting to us.
yeah, that's your group. That's
So
all good.
I'll put your address, contact information in the next meeting announcement.
Okay.
And anybody wants your information,
Yes,
just contact
as
me.
far as
Away we
we're
go.
going, I mean, like, see, you're probably going to see. Have you met with? Darn it! What was it? Okay, I had it on the tip of my tongue, and it kind of my train of thought kind of crashed in the ravine.
That's all right. It'll come back to you.
You're
Like,
much too young for that.
It's a multitasking thing. I'm doing 2 or 3 different things, and one of them falls off.
Well, I will tell you, last night I went to an Azure. They do
Really?
web development. Yeah, it was at the Microsoft location. up in Blue Ash.
I guess have you been in touch with the Iron Yard?
No, I have not. I have not seen that on any of my lists. So I'll check them out.
They have a meetup coming up on well, actually, what day is it today?
Thursday.
On the 5th.
Okay.
They got one coming up on the 5th, and they do they sort of do, I guess, they do sort of, well, what would you call it? It is a web, it is a lot of a web dev thing, and they do kind of I guess, tutorials and boot camp sort of thing.
Oh, that would be neat.
But not exactly.
Okay.
Like, it's a bit different.
Well, I'll definitely check them out then. Are you going to be there?
I don't know. It depends. You can find them on Meetup.
Yeah, I'll get on there.
Get in touch with the guy who runs that.
Okay.
Also, this might be a bit of a tough format to really get in touch with people in. But have you heard of QC Merge?
No.
No. Okay. So
Check that
QC Merge meets the first Thursday of every month.
Okay.
And it's mostly software developers,
Okay.
marketing people, or so sometimes entrepreneurs and such like that, anything tech related.
Okay.
But it's not a formal meetup. Basically, we go to Japs downtown and we drink a lot. But
That's important.
that's basically what it is.
They had beer last
But-
night.
But yeah, it's in downtown Cincinnati,
Yeah.
and we go to it's on Meetup as well.
Okay.
We go to the Japs bar, we drink, we talk about stuff. It's mostly social, but you probably find quite a few people there with stuff to talk about.
Thank
Really.
you, Jeremy. I appreciate that. And you're sure can I talk you into a little interview?
I guess if there's a topic of interest.
Okay.
I mean,
Jeremy's going to kick me for saying
I have to find something interesting to talk about.
Yeah.
Actually, wait. Do you got a pen?
Mhm. Yeah. And then, so are you
This is my
Frank,
work
sir?
card. So,
Do what?
Are you Frank?
No,
Oh, no, so I should touch base with you to follow up and see if Ray would be interested.
no, follow up with him. He's gonna,
I'll touch base with Ray. Ray is listening to this and
Uh-huh.
watching this,
Okay.
and he should know.
that's my. I
See if
circled my
he's
personal
interested.
contact.
Thank you.
it sounds like Jeremy's group there would be kind of.
Would be good. Yeah, we definitely are looking for the security portion of it to be talked
Okay,
about.
so for next week, we got, you want to do the demo of the Cipher library for the Arduino next week?
What kind of library?
Cipher.
Cipher.
I mean, for encryption?
Yeah.
There is such a thing?
You can. I mean,
See, this is how it goes around here.
Very casual, it looks like.
like yeah. I mean.
And that's
I mean,
because of him.
I mean, symmetric stuff isn't that heavy. You can do it on Arduino. There's a couple libraries out there to do it. Now, anything beyond that is kind of tough, because you don't have much memory.
just say
to work
security
with.
one time and look at the man go.
He's a wealth of knowledge.
Well, mostly it's because like I do internal apps for a hydraulics and pneumatics company, and I have a dev team of me.
Yeah.
Well, me and an intern, and I also handle handle the IT side of that too, because
It's running
we don't exactly have many people to do that, so I end up
Doing
having to
benchmarking.
take care of that sort of thing, which is fine. I mean, I like doing a little bit of everything.
Do I?
Yeah,
I'm
so
getting
you're
bored,
saying
but-
going quick.
If you want to stay to 7.
I mean, it keeps me from getting bored.
Is that what
Yeah,
it said?
that's
Yes.
important.
Oh, okay. Do we want to?
Why not?
We can
I'm not-
stay till
I'm not
7
doing
if we
anything else.
want. Yeah.
Do we have something we want to present?
Well,
That's
I mean,
gonna take
I've
more
got it
time.
running, sorta. It's just the benchmark on there, but
Okay, 30 minutes enough for you?
probably not, because I really don't know what it is.
Okay, well, let's wait till next time.
Between me and Jeremy, we'll probably figure it out.
Figure what out.
What about doing something on
I'm
the
gonna cut out of
Raspberry?
here, but I
Sure.
thank you so much for letting me
I
come
don't-
on
I
your
don't-
meeting. I appreciate it.
Most
are
of the
very
stuff I
nice.
know are already published.
Good
Some
luck
of
with
the
your
guys
robot.
still probably haven't really
Thanks, Jeremy. I'll be in touch.
seen that there's
I
some
mean,
comparisons.
if you have something you wanna
Raspberry
talk
Zeros,
about,
Raspberry
We'll figure
no.
something out.
Pi 1.
Thank
Raspberry
you, guys.
I haven't been to Vince Lab.
The latest Raspberry
It's
Pi.
the library that I found looks like it
Yeah, I could. Of course, something that I
will
have.
encode and decode. So it looks to me like
Have
Is it
some
like,
samples, I don't.
like what algorithm
and
does
Find
it?
some
out,
data
find
on
the
it.
topic
I don't
that you
know.
I'm
want to
guessing it
talk about
probably
or
does
demo,
AS 120
and
It-
at least.
it's
And we'll put you
doing
on the
something
agenda.
256-bit.
What's it called?
whatever you want to do. If you want to do a little
Briz?
project, that's good. If you want to talk about this
SPR,
particular subject,
Spritz.
that'd be
Spritz.
good. And I'll put you on the agenda for next week. Got rid of her.
It looks to me like
They
it
don't
would
let
be
us go,
good if
do
you
they?
were sending messages back and forth and wanted to verify that the
Think
message
about
was.
marketing.
So it looks
And,
like we
and most of these people don't do anything tech.
It's all network.
Yeah,
That's what it is, networking.
it's networking and it's, a lot of these people are
Oh, this is a
getting
bit
money
below-
to
up
do
with
stuff
that.
Sure.
that they have a good story to sell. And,
Huh.
we're gonna go on, we're
They
gonna
got
do
no
really well.
product or yet.
Yeah. It's no product.
We got no
You'd
product.
be proud of me. When I downloaded it, I verified the
No, I'm
signature and
saying they don't have any
everything.
products.
No,
If you really do have a
Wait,
good
does he
product,
even offer a binary?
you don't
It
be
looks like
bothered with all
it's
of
just
this.
from
You're really just telling people that you got your stuff.
No, I downloaded it from somewhere else.
Oh, I'm looking at the repo.
Hand waving. People used to accuse me of doing a lot of that too.
you
Just
do,
talking about stuff.
you do. Hard to see, you know, what else you have?
Oh, this is okay.
See, Jeremy already knows more about this than I do because
Looks like this guy rolled RC.
my mom has accepted an offer on the house.
Oh,
I still have the stand up, what they call an electric chariot, and a couple of other frames. If somebody wants them, get a hold of me because I got to get rid of them, and I don't really want to throw them away.
what is it?
It's something you ride around on, but I was turning them into robots, is what I was doing.
How big is it?
So
Like a wheelchair?
okay, so apparently this is
It's smaller than a wheel. You stand on it. It kind of sort of looks like a Segway, but not really.
Okay, it's got a motor that runs?
It's got it. This particular model actually has 2 electric motors. They're built into the wheels.
Okay. I probably got space.
Well, I don't have the van anymore, so I can't bring them to you.
I got a navigator.
So you're gonna have to come and get
Yeah,
them.
it's big
oh,
enough.
so it means apparently it means this is Spritz, the actual cipher, not the it's not the name of the library. It's the actual cipher. Okay. So apparently this is an Arduino implementation of Spritz.
Okay.
I'm not sure how. I don't think I would use this directly. I mean, I think
It
it's
looks
more of a
interesting.
well, this seems to be more of a testing thing because is this the same as I don't know? Is this the same version that I'm thinking of?
I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking.
What does this do?
And that's a good thing.
I heard the words. It's a library.
This
This cipher isn't really ready for use. At least I don't think I wouldn't use it in any projects.
So
And,
you
it looks like it was a cipher that came around like
He said
I don't even remember
if
when,
we stayed over, it'd be okay.
mid-90s.
It looks to me like on one side of, if you were sending messages from an Arduino to another Arduino, and on one side you had the decryption key, and on the other side you sent a message that if it didn't decrypt right, it doesn't function. But if it did decrypt right, this one would do something.
Okay, so it's kind of like a fancier equivalent of exclusive OR, which was the beginning, which is not very good in encryption.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah,
it doesn't look like I would use this for anything important. My thought behind
Scrambles the bits.
It looks really niche though.
my thought behind it was if somebody else, if you had like some sort of network, some sort of sensor network, and you all set it up for that all of them would send the same message, and this thing could decode it. If somebody else brought something in and it's sending on the same frequency, but it's not the same message, this thing would just reject it altogether.
Okay, so what it is, it's not very good. I mean, it can be used for encryption, but it's just not very good. If somebody seriously wanted to crash it, they could.
This is kind of like an introduction into it, and it give you an idea of what would be required, and we're not going to use this.
I don't see how the Arduino itself could do like real encryption.
Arduino it's not going to do real encryption.
Well, no, it can. I mean, you can do. Well, okay, so you can do basic. Someone's got to hang on, give me a second, because I know someone did make an AES library for Arduino, and that will work for most purposes, honestly. I haven't seen a very good public key cryptography library for Arduino, because that does require quite a bit of keys. But basic just key, just go back and forth. That's not expensive, or at least not relative to what that thing's got.
I'm interested.
It's got more. I mean, Arduino's got more than enough horsepower.
Well, that's what I was. That was what I was thinking. You know, the little library that I found looks like it would be good, just to make it a little tougher to do something.
That's fine.
Although I would go with. I would probably for just going back and forth and having the same key on both ends, just across a gap or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably would go with an AES library or just something we know works, because Spritz is a bit. I don't think anyone is using it enough that we know that it works. I haven't really looked into Spritz that much as a cipher.
It looked interesting. I know when I was playing with it, I changed one bit, just one thing, and it failed the message, and I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And that looked like it was that particular library looked like it was able to make random passwords up to like 20 characters long, and looked like it did all kinds of stuff.
I have to look into it. I haven't actually looked into it that much, because like the thing with there is the thing with algorithms where it's like they have to sit for a really, really long time before we know. Well, relative to software, they got to sit for a while before we really know they work.
Well, I just came across it. I thought it was interesting.
The library?
It's on the website.
What website?
It's on the meeting announcements.
Okay.
It's in the meeting announcements that I hadn't sent out, but it's there.
Okay.
If you want to look at it. I should send them out. You know how to get to it?
I know how to get there.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. I thought it was interesting. It may not be the best one.
Well, the thing is that with Arduino, you don't have anything now. So.
Yeah. There are a couple implementations.
I'll try to play with it a little bit more and see if I can't set two of them up and have one of them send a bad message and one of them sending a good message, and see if it would do it. It looked like it would actually encrypt and decrypt real messages, though, too.
It can. Yeah, it can. It can. It's like a.
So if you were doing something like not HTTP, but what's the other one? UDP. Where you're sending a batch message, and you could encrypt it. First of all, nobody's expecting it to come that way, and unless somebody's doing something serious to try to intercept your message and decode it, you basically don't care about Arduino traffic. I mean, it's going to be sporadic. So any encryption you have is better than no encryption.
I found a C implementation of Spritz.
There's something I need to know about.
Ouch, that's not encouraging.
I thought encryption is to keep somebody else, I mean, as far as our computer is concerned, is to keep somebody else from getting into my good stuff. The encryption of sending, you know, my temperature and that kind of stuff, that's not a big secret.
That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing you want to do is you don't want somebody to get on the inside of your system where they can
Well,
go,
But
you know, look at it different. Suppose you're sending password. You don't want a middleman to intercept that and then use it for something.
and like Frank's got his Arduino hooked up to his garage door. You don't want somebody who knows that to just come along and build I can open the garage door.
right, okay.
So in his code, he can set his
Right,
own
that's
encryption
terrible.
keys up.
I mean, like, little remotes, those are terrible. Holy cow.
Well, yeah, but you know, he could set his own key up, and then only his Arduino
Proprietary.
could talk to it, and only Frank would know what that was. Of course, you probably could do that in different ways anyway. But
Yeah.
but if
Okay,
it was
so-
encrypted and somebody had a sniffer and was watching the line, they could still.
I found a scene
Whatever.
of spritz, and like this guy's message is not encouraging. He says, "Warning: you probably shouldn't use spritz for anything. It has distinguished through its performance is not impressive. Using spritz for hashing is even slower than check hashing. It depends on conditional jumps, and there's no cryptanalysis.
Wow,
That's not encouraging at all."
I don't know. I just know that I found it and I thought it was interesting. That's all I know.
Well, it's been a nice day. I'm reading.
All I know is what I know.
You got big plans?
Oh, yeah.
Although